B'Shem Hashem la'aseh v'natzliach. In the previous recording on Parshat Vayakhel, we spoke about Betzalel and Aholiab, the two main artisans, the two main people in charge with the building of the Mishkan, building the home of HaKadosh Baruch Hu down in this world. We have Betzalel as the main guy, his helper is number two, who's always with him, Aholiab. And we spoke last time about their names, what they symbolize, their individual kochot, the special koach, special presence that Hashem gave them, the Ruach Elohim that was in Betzalel, and how they can work with all of the individual crafts. And the commentators actually go on and explain that maybe Betzalel was doing the bigger stuff, maybe more of the silver and gold stuff. Aholiab may be doing some more of the fabrics afterwards, or he may be more on the ground. Betzalel's more on top. Okay, that's the individuals. That's the basics of what they're all about. There's a lot more to speak about over there. Bezvat Hashem, Od Chazon Hamoed. Maybe in the future we'll speak about their individual responsibilities, what each one did, where they symbolize the Hasidic masters, the Rebbes. They speak about that in a little bit more detail. But what I want to speak now, and I want to begin with the most basic level of why does the Torah keep telling us that they're tribes? Why does it keep telling us that Yehuda, that Betzalel comes from the tribe of Yehuda, and Aholiab comes from the tribe of Dan? Each time we meet them, we have Betzalel. We go through his whole lineage all the way to Hor, from Lemate Yehuda, and each time we meet Aholiab ben Achisamach, Lemate Dan. Why do we care so much about Yehuda and Dan? So I want to begin with the first level, the basic level, what it's all about. Nebezat Hashem. Again, in future recordings, people will try to get to the deeper stuff. Okay, so comes along Rashi, and Rashi by us in Pasuk Lamedal, when he speaks about Aholiab, he actually gives us a little bit of a hint. Says Rashi, Aholiab mishevet Dan min haYehudim shebishvatim. He says, Dan is from the lowest of the tribes. He's one of the sons of the maidservants. And Hashem, he made him equal to Betzalel for the building of the Mishkan. And Yehuda is from the Gudalei HaShevatim. Okay, so we have what seems to be this hierarchy in tribes. The greatest of the Shvatim is Yehuda, or of the great ones, Rashi is saying here, Migdolei HaShevatim. And the lowest, Mina Yerudin, from the lowest one, which here he's saying it's coming on a literal level from the Bnei Shvachot, but from the lower level of the tribes, we have Dan, and Hashem is putting them together. Why? Or to fulfill the words of the pasuk that says that Hashem will not look and recognize the rich before the poor, meaning everybody's equal before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have this equality when it comes to building a home for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nobody's considered to be greater. You come from the greatest tribes of Yehuda, from the lowest of the tribes, the tribe of Dan. But it's soft course. At the end of the day, everybody's equal for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're building a house of God. Everybody has the ability, the capacity, the potential to be building a place for Hashem. Don't think you're better just because you come from Yehuda, that you deserve it more, that you could build it, and that nobody else could build it. It doesn't work that way. They both are equals, notwithstanding how great their tribe is. Now, okay, that's Rashi. It's about equality. It's beautiful. But then I saw a lot of Mefarshim take this Rashi, take this Midrash that it's based on to a step further, and they start discussing what was the greatness of Yehuda and what was the lowest level of Dan. Like, what was it really all about? Why was one so low? Why was one so high? And then ultimately, in the future recordings, we're going to speak about how great Dan is as well, even though he's looked at as upon the lowest, but what kind of strength actually comes up. So I want to go to a Dvar Torah in Parashat Bamidbar that I read in Rav Nebentzal on the Parashah. So he has an unbelievable idea about Dan and Yehuda. He says, when it comes to the order of where everybody is, who's the top tribe, who's the lowest tribe, what Rashi's talking about here. So Rashi seems to relate it to, I guess, to who their mothers were, the Shvachot or not. But the Rav Nebentzal, he looks at a different point that kind of shows us who is where. So he says, when you go to Parshat Bamidbar, they're talking about the order of who's traveling first, who's traveling second, who's in charge and who's not. So the tribe that's in charge is Yehuda. Yehuda is in the front of the bus. He's leading the group. He's the first one, Yehuda, together with Yisachar and Zevulun. They are in the front of the Mishkan, and they are moving the whole Bnei Israel as they go in the desert. In the very back of the bus, who is the very, very back over there? We have Dan. Dan is up in the back, leading the back. So we have Yehuda in the front, and we have Dan, who's the leader in the back. And then we have the other, in each, we have the four sections, and the other two, the north and south sections, are different tribes that are in charge. Fine. But we have Yehuda in the front, and Dan in the back. Now, why is Yehuda in the front? So he explains, the Midrash explains over there, because when the Jewish people were leaving Egypt and they got to the Yam Suf, so who ran into the Yam Suf first to split it? It was Nachshon ben Aminadab. Nachshon ben Aminadab, the head of the tribe of Yehuda in those days. I'm not sure where Hur came in afterwards, but by this point, it's Nachshon, who's from the tribe of Yehuda. He's the Nasi. He's running straight into into the water, and he splits the sea. He has full emunah. He's leading the Jewish people. All the Jewish people were scared. What are we going to do? We're stuck. The Egyptians are following us. We have a sea. What do we do? He runs into the Yam Suf, and as soon as he gets in there, it gets up to his nose. It splits the sea. It's the koch and the emunah of Nachshon ben Aminadab, the tribe of Yehuda. He is the leader, and we know that Yehuda is the leader because if we go back to Parashat Vayigash Yehuda, when he thinks Yosef's out to get them, when he thinks he's that evil guy in Egypt, Yehuda steps it up, and in the Midrashim over there say we already see that Yehuda is going to be in charge. We know that when Yaakov blesses Yehuda, he's blessing him to be the king. He's like the lion. He's compared to the Aryeh. Yehuda is out in front. He is leading the pack because he's the one that wants to be in charge. We know David HaMelech, the Mashiach. That's all going to come from Yehuda. He is the main Aryeh. Awesome. What about Dan? So why is Dan in the back? So Dan being in the back over here sounds like a negative. And there's many mefarshim that are towards the negative of the negative. That why is Dan in the back? So why did Hashem put him there? It sounds like from Parshat Bamidbar, says Rav Nebentzal, that Hashem is deciding, you go here, you go there. But the truth is, if you look at the Midrashim, you can see that maybe this happened a little bit earlier. He says already when we the first time that we ever saw this whole formations, like where did it come from? So the Midrash tells us, Bnei Israel, they saw in the Shamayim, they saw the Malachim surrounding Hashem's Mishkan in the Shamayim, the Merkavah, surrounding Hashem's holy chariot up in heaven, the different angels, and each of the four sections of the tribes relate to those different angels. They wanted to be just like them. So they said from Hashem, make us flags so we can be like the angels in the Shamayim, walking your Mishkan, just like they walk your Merkavah Shamayim. That's one midrash. But another midrash says they saw earlier on when Yaakov had passed away, when Yaakov died and he was being brought back from Egypt to be buried, the Aron of Yaakov being buried in the land of Israel was surrounded by the 12 sons. And the order of how they surrounded it back then, they say is the same order over here. So we kind of see already Dan is kind of in the back. Like, why is that happening? But there's more. Dan is Dan. When we're going through the Yam Suf, not every single Jew was so holy. We had reached the lowest levels of Tumah in Egypt. We had been close to the Avodah Zarah. And who was the one that was doing the Avodah Zarah? It was Dan. There's an idea that Pesel Mika was with Dan. The idolatry that was with him was hanging out with the tribe of Dan, and they were from the very beginning on their own, hanging out in the back of the bus. Meaning all the Jewish people were walking. They were kind of dilly-dallying. They were kind of going slower. And they had an Avodah Zarah. They weren't fully part of it, which is also why when we learn about Amalek, so with Amalek it says that they attacked us in the back. They attacked the tail and they attacked the back of the bus. This is before Parshat Bamidbar. This is before Hashem is telling everybody where to stand. Already over there were people in the back that Amalek attacked, and the Chazal tell us who were those people. Who were those people that weren't fully there, that weren't fully with the Emunah, that had some of the Avodah Zarah? It was Dan. Dan was already there in the back, and they actually were spit outside of the clouds. The clouds, the Dananei HaKavod, did not protect them because of the Avodah Zarah, and that's why they were attacked by Amalek. That's really where it came from. And we see, even though they were the lowest of the tribe, the rest of Bnei Israel come to fight for them because we don't leave anybody behind. But already back there, based on their own choice, they were put back there. And the truth is, if you actually look into the future, in the times of the Shoftim, Dan is going to sin again. Dan is actually going to leave his main territory next to Yehuda. We're going to have the Dan Yehuda connection again in the land of Israel. And they're going to move up to the north. And up there, they're going to be doing, they're going to be the first ones to have Pesel Mika. They're going to be one of the first ones to take the Avodah Zarah and make it a big part of them. They were the earliest ones to sin with the Avodah Zarah. You've seen in Shoftim, Perek Yudchet, that eventually is going to spread to the other tribes later on. But already over there, again, we see in the future, they're going to have this issue with Avodah Zarah, and they're going to mess up, and therefore they are considered to be the back of the bus. They're considered to be the lowest of the low when it comes to these areas, and therefore Hashem puts them there specifically because that's where it's supposed to be. And then it makes the Dvar Torah by us so much stronger, because if now we're saying we have the highest of the tribes, so they're doing great things, we also have the lowest of the tribes because they were doing bad things. They were just really doing the Avodah Zarah, and that's why Hashem puts them where they want to be. Hashem Tzilecha, Hashem is kind of like our shadow. If you want to be in the back, you can be in the back. If you want to be in the front, if you really want to step it up like Yehuda, like the lion, you can go to the front and you can be like the lion, and it works perfect. But Sof Kol Sof, don't tell me that I'm stuck in my ways because my tribe is stuck in his ways. Don't tell me that just because the tribe of Dan is so low, I can never amount to anything. Ohaliyah proves to us that you can come from the lowest background, the lowest of the tribes, but ultimately if you step it up, if you have that right kavanah, like we spoke about in the last Dvar Torah, when it comes to Betzal, he had the right kavanah, the biggest desire, the biggest Ratzon Hashem. He wanted to run to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do the mitzvah. That's just like he learned from Nachshon ben Aminadab, from his tribe of Yehuda. So too Ohaliyah, the individual within the tribe of Dan, he really wanted to do it. He really wanted to step it up. He really wanted to make a very big difference. Hashem says, okay, Maybe you come from the tribe of Dan, but you know what? If you really want it, you're equal to Betzalel. I'll make you the number 2. I'll put you together. You're going to be shavim to the other tribes. You could build the Mishkan as well. That could be your koach, but you have to want it. We're also going to see in the future. Dan is called Dan because Dan Yadin Amo. He's going to be the one that's going to be a judge in the people. Who is the judge? Who's the shofet that's going to come from Dan? That's going to be Shimshon in the future as well. Also back then, Dan is doing balagan over there in the Plishtim and all that, but Shimshon is going to step it up, try to save the day. You have the ability to step it up and be great. Don't tell me you can't be great. You're going to do big stuff if you choose to. But then we start to get to the next level of what Dan is all about. So when Dan is put in the back over there, Hashem tells Dan, you're also going to be the ma'asef l'kol ha'machanot. You're going to be the one to pick up all the pieces behind. Part of Dan's problem when they were sinning is they separated from the Jews. They were outside of the clouds. Hashem says, we're going to put you in the very back, and you're going to be the ma'asef. You're going to pick up, anybody who loses anything, you're going to bring it back. And in doing so, you're going to bring peace. You're going to bring connections. You're going to bring achdut to Bnei Israel. You're going to put everybody back together. So Dan in the back of the bus is actually might be his tikkun, says the Rav Nebentzal, so that it looks so terrible. Why are you in the back? Why are you doing that? But he might have some special kohot. The special kohot of the ma'asif, the kol ha'machanot. We'll speak more in detail about some bigger ideas, what's behind that. But he has some of the kohot to actually bring the people back. And if we can go with one deep idea before we get to the bigger stuff, says the Kli Yakar that, okay, so we know that Yehuda is the lion. He's the Aryeh. He actually starts off as the Gur Aryeh. When Yaakov blesses him, he's going to become the greater lion, the greater leader, the Mashiach ben David. That's Yehuda in the front. Oholiab comes from the tribe of Dan. Dan is the Nachash. Dan is the snake. That's what Yaakov blesses him to be. That's what he's all about. We're going to speak about that in the next recording. What does it mean that Dan is a Nachash? Not to be confused with Nachshon ben Aminadab from Yehuda, who also has the name Nachash. We'll speak about that as well in the next recording. But over here, let's speak about Dan being the snake. But if we fast forward to the times of when Moshe blesses Dan, he's no longer called a snake. Now he's also called the Gur Aryeh. He's also called a lion. So we have a lion in the front, which is called Yehuda. Then we have the baby lion in the back, which also is Dan. So Dan also becomes a lion. So we have a lion leading the Jewish people in the front. We have a lion in the back, and now we have the 2 lions of Oholiab and Betzalel together building the Beit HaMikdash, building the Mishkan over here. When we fast forward to the future, to the times when they're going to be building the Beit HaMikdash, we have Shlomo HaMelech, also from the tribe of Dan, and Shlomo HaMelech is going to go, and who's he going to find to help him build the Mishkan? He's going to choose a guy named Hiram, and Hiram, it's not clear, is he from Naphtali? Where is he from? The Very Mim says his mother was from the tribe of Dan. So we have a Danite as well as a Yehuda, Shlomo HaMelech. They're both going to come together, Yehuda and Dan, in the future to build the Beit HaMikdash, to build that first temple. And the temple is actually referred to as the Ariel. Ariel meaning the lion. So we have ourselves the lion in the front, the lion in the back, Yehuda and Dan. The 2 lions are going to come together and they're going to build the Ariel. They're going to build the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim's symbol till today is the lion, and some of the deeper ideas of Dan and Yehuda. And V'ezrat Hashem, in the next recording, we'll speak a little bit more about maybe the kavanot of the name Yehuda, the name Dan, and maybe some deeper kohot that Dan really has that might even bring us to Mashiach Tzidkenu. Shabbat Shalom.